Hello everyone, welcome back to part 3. I apologize. I don't have the right device to transfer my pictures from my phone to the my computer. So, I mean, all I could do is really just kind of show you the picture like that. That is the eagle's back. You can't go beyond that. Well, you can. We're not supposed to. So, no, I don't need to move to. Go away. People who take rocks, they have, the rocks are cursed. The lady let me read a bunch of letters. They're all laminated, minus the postcards, of people who had attached a rock to be put back into the cave. Leave it the other way. So this is the entrance of the cave, looking from the first room of the cave, and you walk down this corridor. Why is it? Oh, so the lettering that you see is from this title here. I was like, what is this watermark thing that's going on here? And then you're probably like, Chris, what other options did you have for dolls? I had a lot. I got the bigger one. There were a couple more of those. And then let me get to the sad. Yeah. So this is the cemetery. Not cemetery, I'm sorry. There was a burial there inside the cave, and the body was stolen. It was a native girl, and she was between 300 and 500 years old at the time. I mean, she'd been dead for that long, and she was about 11 when she died. Never been recovered. And then I don't know if I showed this, The Bell Witch, A Mysterious Spirit by Charles Bailey Bell, a descendant of Bell family. I did show that because I said she liked to, she threw around the N-word. So, oh yeah, and then you're not supposed to take a rock. But I have like 15 rock candies. I ate 4 of them on the way back yesterday because, you know, I'm an adult. I can eat candy when I want to. People can't tell me what to do. Okay. So this is the third one. Now, by the time you will have seen these 3, you'll have already seen the other video, which tells the story. This kind of tells it differently, but I think they're all still interesting. So let's just finish this series out.
It out. I ended up the same. So therefore, I said, okay, now we have established the rules for telling the Bell Witch stories.
Well, found footage is a well-known technique in fiction. It's used in literature. It's used a lot in sci-fi. But the way things are set up is someone stumbles upon
I'm just eating some rock candy. I'm just living it up. Sunday morning, 11:18.
upon a relic, photos, diary, film, whatever, that depicts something that supposedly happened. We all know about the Blair Witch Project. You know, they found these videos of allegedly what happened in the woods. We know the Blair Witch Project is fiction. But what we've got here is the diary is kind of the found footage. Of course, they didn't have videos back then. So we've got Ingram, who allegedly has this source that isn't even that good, but that's another topic. But Unlike the Blair Witch Project, he doesn't even have the diary.
Everyone has heard of a ghost, a haunted house, or a paranormal event at least once in their lives. Most of us either accept or reject the reports based on the evidence. In the case of the Bell Witch, no one can say for sure what actually happened 200 years ago near the quiet village in Tennessee, or why sightings continue to this day. A few people have theories.
Bo was in the Bell Witch Cave, which sometimes it's open to the public and sometimes it isn't. And sometimes around Halloween, they used to say that they would have people to come and they'd have things happening, you know, to excite people. So one time, Bo was there. He's a friend of the owner, and he was there taking some pictures back in the cave. And there's this lady that came, and she was going to do a seance with a couple of photographers and everything. And she saw Bo in the background, but she didn't see he was a person. She thought that was a Bell Witch coming there while they were in there. Bo stood back and laughed because he knew that he didn't want to tell them that it was just him. He didn't want to burst their bubble.
One night I was staying with my grandmother. I was very young, 4 at most. And in my mind, I woke up and just felt like I had to go downstairs in the middle of the night. And when I went downstairs, I saw a ghost behind the stove. And even as a young child, I didn't think it was a ghost. It just didn't even make sense to me. I thought, well, that's the boy across the street. He snuck into the house and he's trying to scare me. So I started crying and ran up and got my grandmother, and she came down, and of course the ghost wasn't there anymore. And I remember having my head in her lap, crying, and her soothing me and telling me it was just a nightmare. And then the way I remember it, we went back upstairs and I laid in bed and I couldn't help but keep thinking about it. And I went down again and it was there again. Now, why did that happen? I think it was a nightmare, maybe sleepwalking, lucid dreaming. But my grandmother and I would talk about it over the years, and I'd say, remember when I saw the ghost? And she said, Karen, it was just a nightmare. But in my mind, and today, even today, it was so real. And that's why people believe in these things.
Visitors come to Adams, Tennessee from all over the world to learn about the Bell Witch. Even if they never spot an evil specter lurking in every corner of this quaint frontier town, they're bound to fall under the spell of its charm.
When you come to Adams, there's a lot to see and do for a small town. Our motto is year-round country fun, and there are good places to eat. There's Adams Station Barbecue, which has excellent barbecue and home cooking, and the Moss's Restaurant has great steaks and burgers. And
it used to be the schoolhouse cafeteria, is what it was. It is also known as the Bell Witch Cafeteria at one time. You know, we've had a few little incidents happen out here, knocks and, you know, stuff like that. We got a little thing up there we stub our tickets on. It come flying across the room, and nobody was near it. But, you know, we just told her, you know, Kate, go away, we're busy, we don't have time to food with you, so, you know.
And then Red River Canoe is a little bit further down the road on Highway 41, and that provides camping experience and canoeing, and they have a lot of festivals throughout the year. But the Bell School Grounds has a lot of festivals year-round as well. We have the Thresherman Show in July, and that's been going on for about 43 years now, every year. And they have gentlemen that...
There's a lot going on there. It's not a very big place at all. Adams, Tennessee, very small.
Gentlemen that have an old-fashioned wheat thresher and a sawmill, a blacksmith shop, and other antique tractors that actually perform the craft there. They also have tractor pulls and other activities, but it's neat to see the way these these craftsmen operate, back then. We also have the Bell Witch Bluegrass competition in September. Square dancing and bluegrass music and picking and grinning all over the grounds. And we end the year with the Spirit Play in October during Halloween, which tells the story of the Bell family and the Bell Witch.
It is a very much attended tourist attraction, and I sold tickets to people from Australia, Sweden, Germany, the Ukraine, and they came. And how they heard about it, I did not know. I knew it was a local phenomenon, maybe even a national, but an international, I had no idea.
The legend is very popular. It's been around for 196 years, and people come from thousands of miles, even fly from overseas, to learn about the bells.
In Robertson County in Adams, we have the Bell Witch Cave, and we have the old farmland of John Bell Sr., and we have a Bell Cemetery and an old Bell School.
We're going to visit the Bell Willett City of Adams Museum. We're going to visit the Bell Cabin, which is owned by the museum itself, at least part of the original Bell House.
The building behind me is the last standing structure from the original Bell Farm. It was a cabin that was some dated to be built around 1820, and this was the time of the haunting that was going on, and this cabin was moved here on the grounds of Bell School in the early 1980s, and this cabin basically was used by sharecroppers up until the 1970s. So it has quite a history unto itself.
This is the place you would come to find out more about the Bell family and their spirit. On the wall, we have items that related to Adams, and especially back here in the corner, we have a picture of John Bell Jr. up high and some of the documents associated with his life. We have at least one document here telling us what he had given his oldest daughter when she got married. $110 for a horse and saddle, $500 for a slave named Mary. The slaves, of course, at the Civil War, were freed, but as they became adults, they were probably worth anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000. We have some stuff in the middle that related to his father, and of course the drawing of his sister Betsy. She seemed to be even nervous in her older age. One of her great-great-granddaughters stated that she would never sleep alone. Always had a grandchild or somebody with her, and she would always sleep against the wall and let the child or whoever was with her sleep on the outside of the bed.
Betsy did not have a very good life either.
Adams, Tennessee takes its name from the local train station built in 1859. Ever since, the town has been a popular stop for anyone with a taste for adventure. Signs of its colonial past can still be found everywhere. The riches of the cotton plantations is what attracted families like John Bell's. But it's the infamous Bell Witch who continues to draw the crowds.
Well, even before the movie became famous, it was the stories, the folklore stories. Anytime a folklore booklet comes out or a new production comes out, whether it's a movie or a TV show, people will flock to Adams. They'll come to Robertson County to see if they can be a part of the Bell Witch experience. A lot of them are curious if she actually exists, and they will roam around the town and visit City Hall and find directions to some of the places that are prominent in the legend, and they will try to experience it for themselves.
I moved here in 1969, and basically I love the rural setting. That's where I basically came from, and that although the area has grown, we try to keep our rural setting, and we will fight, I will fight basically any attempts to modernize it any more than it is.
Well, we have a great little town here, and it's a lot like Mayberry. It's a small town feel, and the people that are in leadership in the past had a lot of foresight in the way they planned things and tried to bring people here. And so now it's one of the biggest tourism draws in the county.
You know, I think there are things that happened. And I think it's at one time, something happened a long time ago that caused the spirit to be written. It became a legend, and it was told more and more and more. And as the legend grows, it gets bigger and better. You know, more people wants to know about it. And it's something that did happen, but of course it was so long ago we can't explain it.
Weird things happen in Adams all the time, but especially during the Play and Spirit Week, the last 2 weekends of October. Come on down. You never know what you might encounter.
Whenever people experience the Bell Witch and they come here, they want to be a part of it. And so they'll either drive by the cave or they'll drive by the school or the cemetery, and they may have car problems afterwards. Now, whether those car problems are from neglect or from the Bell Witch is, to be seen, but a lot of them would like to attribute things happening to them and experiences happening to them because of the Bell Witch presence in Robertson County.
Okay.
This is my comeback. Start yours at purdueglobal.edu.
I'm not going to. So that was 3 parts of The Witch Bell. That felt good. Okay, so you learned the story before. Now you learn this. I didn't see anything, didn't feel anything at the house, didn't feel anything in the cave. Just had that hearing what I thought was laughter. A couple women talking and then laughter. I can't tell you that wasn't the water, but the tour guide did seem to believe that when I told her that, she was like, yeah, that's what you heard. You heard right. So I don't know if she heard it or she was just implanting in my brain, yeah, what you think you heard, no, it has to be right because you think you heard it, so yeah, it was true. I don't know. But either way, we're going to end this here. Because I don't have anything else. I got other stuff from my visit to Jefferson Davis, but that's for a different video. So we're going to end this here. And until next time, you have a good day and have a good night.